Lee is responsible for my employment for the last 34 years. When she took over posting the school, she made Marian Albuquerque the coordinator for Mendocino, and I was having to live it up there. I was having to happen to live up there at the time, and I got this strange call from an ex-nun one Saturday morning. Can you imagine what that was like? And it really kind of brought me into the program. And I realize now that Carol Lee was behind that, of course, in Mary up there. And actually, Carol Lee was the first example that I can remember of an Indian person being at the head of something. And that was a total revelation to me. Just the idea that an Indian could be in charge. I mean, I'd seen it on the res, but off the res in a mixed situation, an Indian could be in charge. It was a revelation. It just said, okay, wow. Suddenly I had a perspective on the world. So I owe her that. And of course, being a woman, she was a leader, naturally. And in our community, those are the people that keep things together. So I owe her a great debt. We not care. This last poem is called Burdens of the Day, November 12, 1936. My son brought home a newspaper from the flea market one day, and it was in the San Francisco Chronicle from November 12, 1936. And he threw it down on the table right where I was reading the daily newspaper, and I just glanced over, and I glanced over, and I glanced over, and I glanced over, and I was struck suddenly by the similarity.
Same as it.
Burdens of the Day, November 12, 1936. On the day they opened the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, Japan put on a dragon's nest and marched into China. Archduke Otto of Austria got back the Habsburg throne from Mussolini, who also sold Czechoslovakia to Hungary in return for Ethiopia. The day they opened the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, a Mongol dog trotted out of the Louisiana forest into the clapboard home of a WPA worker's nameless wife. She pulled a fair-haired, healthy baby from the dog's teeth and named it the infant Moses. Some thought he was the new Messiah. The day they opened the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, there was a savage attack on the bridge. From Los Franceses Bridge, bayonets glinted in the moonlight, and fascist batteries north of Cuatro Vientos set another place at dinner for the professor's family in the Paseo de San Vicente. A hole, really. The shell burst under a table, killing 5 and wounding 2 children. The day they opened the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, a grave began to sing in Cleveland. Ave Maria came up clearly from the sod above Helen Peltz, Franciscan lay nun, 10 years dead. The day they opened the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, the Peruvian Indian poet Cesar Vallejo received permission to leave exile in Paris and return to Spain for a 2-month visit. Then the government changed their mind. From his deathbed, he left for Spain, and finally, no one could stop him. The day they opened the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, Americans could drive straight through from one edge of the continent to the other. And Albert Redwing, a full-blood Wajaja Indian, walked down the brick streets of Harmony, Oklahoma, clearly and suddenly heard a huge door slam. There was no gunshot. There was no echo, and no one was around. Ravens continued their clawing from cottonwoods on the other side of the hill. Albert turned, and his braids swung against his wool coat. 4 deer grazing in an open field by the fire station disappeared. One by one, the bluebirds stopped singing, and the foxes disappeared. Albert felt the earth being ripped into large square fields. Henceforth, all wounds would be sutured with barbed wire. The day they opened the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, Albert Redwing got up just at dawn, and soon people began arriving in cars. Got home just at dawn, and soon people began arriving in cars and buggies, their pale lights floating around the side of the hill. That night they worked on seeing the world back together. That night the sound of the drum rolled across the land like a heartbeat. On the day after they opened the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, in the early hours of the morning, Albert Redwing came upstairs to his sleeping wife and children. With their dream hands, they took his drum and eased him into bed. With their dream hearts, they summoned his song and send it out again to search the red dawn for those not strong enough to stand, for those overcome by fear, for those thrown down by those who can't see that they fling themselves down, for those whose names are hidden, for those whose poverty costs them a fortune, for those who can't see that truth always contradicts itself, for the earth whose arms of abundance were about to close, for those who can't see that they are the strands that weave the world together. Carol Lee.
Carol Lee.
Carol Lee was one of those strands, and we have all the work to do to fill her shoes.